couple follow-up questions, some of the comments that were made, particularly Mr. McLean, Mr. Collard, from your companies have apparently either operated in multiple facilities or oversaw those or looked closely at those in the reports. Have you found any other health system in this country that is similarly situated and so poorly situated as the VA is today? I guess start with Mr. Collard, whose company has done many of these examinations.
Sure. You know, the first ones that come to mind would be organizations that might even look a lot like the VA, the safety net hospitals. So organizations that are typically perhaps inner city, serve a particularly disadvantaged patient population. They typically tend to be trauma centers. They tend to have all the right reasons not to succeed. And yet those are the organizations that we can show time and time again when decisions are made, when strong leadership leading with good cultures around alignment and accountability succeed, which again just causes the question, why couldn't we emulate that within?
Well, I'm trying to determine how bad off the system is. When you say that, boy, if we just did a good review and look closely at it, we have a whole culture of non-accountability. And so if you make a bunch of recommendations, we've got stacks and stacks and stacks of them. The doctor mentioned those. I mean, tell me how you would implement those. So what's another study if you have leadership, or that's pretty not a very descriptive term in my opinion of what's going on there. How do you actually implement? We know what the answers are. The doctor mentioned that. We need to put the veterans back in the driver's seat. Get the administrators out of the way. Let them see their doctors, whether they want to do it in the clinic or in the hospital or elsewhere. So how would you implement that? Maybe Mr. McLean, how would you implement any suggested reforms? And I think we know what we need to do. Nobody's done it.
Well, it's very difficult. Anyone that's done any sort of change management realizes that trying to do it from the inside is very difficult. And so I would think that some company that specializes in this to assist VA in making the change to the veteran-centric system, I think would be a good investment for VA.
And Mr. McLean, I understand your company, if I read correctly, operates a number of TRICARE facilities?
We are in my segment of VA, we have the TRICARE South region. And so we're the managed care support contractor for TRICARE. We have 3.2 million beneficiaries in the South.
If a TRICARE subscriber, customer, whatever you call them, doesn't like their care they're getting, what do they do?
Well, we're an administrative services organization for TRICARE. In other words, we maintain a network of providers and specialists for the TRICARE beneficiaries. And we also have a patient advocate, and if they don't like the care that they're providing, they can come back to us and we can try and resolve the issue.
Do they have to get permission from the facility you've assigned them to?
No.
So they actually have a choice?
Yes, they can.
Well, very good. I think the VA might learn from that as well. One thing, Doctor, I'd like to hear from, one question on the union rules. I wish you'd provide those to us. I've heard some stories about that. I'd like to look at those later, but a follow-up comment.
Reading. They make good reading. Let me just point out your very interesting question, however. Competition usually provides improvement. And if we develop some avenue that provides broader choice for vets on where they receive care, not dismantling the VA by any means, but whether it's a Medigap card just for VAs or for older vets, whatever it is, to give more vets a choice, right? You hear on the radio and on television, you see the hospitals advertising, come to our hospital, we have the best care, right? The cleanest room, whatever it is. The VA doesn't have to do that, but their budget every year is dependent on how many vets are enrolled in that system. It is absolutely by statute dependent on that. So they don't want to see their vets going other places for care. Competition will improve the system.
Yeah, that would be great to see the VA having to advertise. And actually, I would argue their budget's not dependent on their standard of care. Actually, what I think we've determined here in the last few months is there's a standard of care. It's just ridiculously low.
although some VA hospitals are quite good. There are some that are really good. They have great leaders, and they
But the veterans, and I could believe that, but we have 70 criminal investigations going on right now. So as a member of Congress and awaiting data, the data's been tampered with. And it's hard to accept anything from the VA because the data's being falsified, and we're hearing that again and again.